Hello gamers, hello friends, welcome back to the Infected. We're gonna get right to it. I did wind up off-screening the drive back to the base. As well, I stopped by the gas refinery, put some more oil in the gas distillery, pulled any oil shale that we could get out of there. It's a pretty quiet trip. So as you can clearly see, I dropped off my snow pants, because there they are. I did wind up changing a couple things about the base, which I'll show you right now, real quick before we go, one of which you can see. As you can see, there's now an electrical panel in the saw room, like in the lumber mill. And that is because I went ahead and threw in my saw benches, my electric ones. So now they no longer need oil. You just put wood in them and they go. They have a toggle right there that allows us to turn them on and off. And I'll show you how that works with another thing in just a moment here. As you can see, all the power lines that were going from that little cave base to the other buildings are now gone. It was bugging me. I couldn't do it anymore. I had to fix it. I don't apologize for it because it looks so much better. Right? It's all clean now. See, we got this little control panel here. And rather than call... No, that's fridges. I finished one of the fridges, so it's... Excuse you. Oh, you know what? I'll bet ya. Oh, I don't have any wire. Fair enough. Well played, game. Oh, it was a nightmare, guys. It took me like 2 hours to rewire the base. Wiring in this game is no joke. And it could largely be that I am not very good at it. However, we now have a completely empty fridge. And we only have 2 more to go. That's 20 electrical parts that we need there. And there was something else. And I can't remember what it was. I just remembered it and then I forgot it. And I'm sure it'll come back to bite us in the ass later. But we got all that. And we'll just move all that in there. There we go. And boom. So we're coming along nicely. We only need 2 more wires for that. I wound up using about half a stack of wires to get this whole thing rewired. But as you can see, we now have control panels on the appropriate appliances. Right? The watershed has its little connector and it has an actual wiring box. Now we have the sawmill, which is now powered. Right? And we have a whole new system here in the quarry. So this box is now titled Workshop, I think, or something like that. No, never mind. But we can now control these at the flick of a switch. So I will show you how this works because I left the mixers to do. So the way this works, you have to have a control panel, which is that one up there, the big one. From the control panel, you run a wire to the junction box, I think it is. Yes, the junction box. And then there's an electrical relay. Now that you can go from the box to the relay and either over to a... You can connect it to a switch, which I've named grinders, or you can connect it to the piece directly. If you connect it to the piece directly, it's always on. Well, I have to connect it to the piece directly anyway. But if you connect the box, or the junction, or the relay, sorry, to a switch, you can turn everything that's on this junction box off with this switch. So this junction box has a switch. This one will have a switch. And this one has a switch right here on the front of this electric forge. Right? So if I take all those and I turn that off, oh, we're chalkered. I need to grab a cart. I'll show you how that works. So we'll grab a cart and we'll put all the ingots in here. It took me a lot of iron to do this. It was not necessarily pretty. And we'll grab this. We're gonna run this over to the shelves because unless I miss my mark, I need some cobalt and some copper to make the switch and everything else. We'll grab 2 cobalt, we'll grab a couple copper, and I think I need 4 iron ingots. So we'll just go ahead and throw all the ingots that we have in here. And then we'll take all those and we'll move that and those. And I'm actually gonna grab, I'm pretty sure I only need 2. But I don't want to have to run across here again. So we'll grab that and that. Now, that should be more than enough to get done what we need to do. So what we need is a switch, and we need a junction box. And we need some wires in our inventory. And the repair hammer. So if you right click on the grinder, do you want to delete the wires? This will remove any wires connected to the grinder, which is exactly what we want to do. So as you can see, there's two lines. There's one that runs right across, and then there's one that only goes as far as this junction. So what we want to do is we want to grab, I'm pretty sure that's over, and what else we need is screws. Wound up having to run back here anyway. That's okay. That'll be more than enough screws. So what we're going to do is we're going to place down a switch. We're not going to care where we place it just yet, because really what we want to do is just place it. And then we want, there we go, a wall switch. There we go. We're going to name that mixers, and we're going to name this as mixers as well. Now, I don't think either one of these will show up, but it doesn't matter. It tells you which one you need to connect to which. So what we're going to do, we want to take a cord from here with the E button and run it down to the box. We then want to run a wire from... No, that is absolutely not how we want to do that. We need to get this right out of here. Oh, son of a biscuit. We screwed up, guys. We wound up running two wall switches, not... That's okay. Mistakes happen, and we are not professional gamers here. Right, electrical relay. That's what we want. So we're going to run this here, and we're just going to put it down there. No, stop. We need copper and iron. Alright, we'll throw those back in. We'll return those at some point. So you want to go from the mixer to the box, or to the relay. Then you want to go from the relay to the mixer, and again from the relay to the mixer, and you want to go from the relay to the switch. This will create a situation where you can move this down and hide the wires. Let's go right there. That looks good. That looks pretty vertical, right? And then we can go ahead and move this up or just overlay the wires so it looks like there's just the one wire there. And there we go. So see how the timer's going down, guys? If we hit the switch, it will turn them off. Click the switch, it'll turn them both back on again. And you can control both the mixers from this little switch right here. Now this is really handy if you're trying to save power, right? Which we don't need to, but it looks a whole lot cleaner. Now during my travels, I wound up collecting all the ore, grab all this copper here, and see how the furnaces are not on? They're not actually cooking anything yet? That's because the switch is off. So we'll go ahead, we'll load up all this copper here. Oh look, they think they're cute. They're going to attack us. We go ahead and we flick the switch, and both of them turn on. It's a beautiful thing. So we're going to grab the box, take all those, put those in there. We should probably go keep an eye on that. The observant among you may have just noticed the gate. I will get to that in a moment. Woot. Alright. Oh, really? Parked that right in the perfectly wrong spot. Take it all. Thank you. Alright. And if we take all this, that should be enough to top up every rock thing. There we go. All topped up. By the way, guys, I came back with 1,000 sand and 500 iron fragments in every single one of these. That is ludicrous. That is more than you ever need. I think in the future, I will only be building 2 of these. And while it may be slow, at a certain point, you run out of stuff to spend it on. So, there is that. So, we'll just move all that there. We're going to go take these back. Actually, no, not. We'll grab the copper. Oh, no more copper. Let's grab the steel. I made some steel ingots, by the way. Grab the aluminum. And we'll start smelting a whole bunch of steel. Stop it. We want it to be uniform. Now this should virtually clear out any cobalt and stuff that we have stored up. I emptied all of the extractors in the cave. Brought it all over here. Free, right? There we go. And flick the switch. They both go on. It's magical. We love it. That kind of thing is not needed. You don't need to build that level of electrical complexity. It's not necessary. It makes me happy though, just feeling like I have a lot more authority in my own foundry, so it makes me happy. Again, you don't have to do that, but now you know how to set up toggle switches in this game. It should be noted that for every different toggle switch that you want to have though, you do need its own dedicated junction box. You only need one of these per building, but you do need one of these for every toggle switch that you want. Right, so if I wanted to put lights in here and have them on a separate toggle, I would have to put in a junction box, then I'd have to run like a wire, and I'd have to put it on its own dedicated circuit for that. Which, let's be honest, it's not hard, but trying to keep track of it all and get it all right, especially the first time you're doing it, it can be difficult, and we need to give those fuel. Oh, I missed a steel. We'll have to fix that on the next round. We'll go back, we'll throw this fuel in the box. Here we go. And we'll grab the cart. There we go, get some more steel alloy going. And we'll get all this copper in there. We got 3 more spots. Do we have sure we do have fragments, but that's not really the point. Alright. Let's go put these away. And then I will show you the last thing that I did off screen. Outside of the wiring. Because there was one other thing that I did. And that's a steel shelf. That's aluminum. That's copper. So, as I'm sure you can see, we are well stocked right now on ingots. Each vertical column is 60, and we have 119 cobalt. We got almost that much aluminum. We got over 60 copper. 60 copper is not a huge store, and we've only got 41 lead. But again, we don't have a lot of use for any of that stuff remaining. Most of that stuff is going to... Oh my goodness, I just realized something. Unless I want to have ridiculous overflow of both cobalt and aluminum, I might want to tell my extractors to strictly focus on copper, which I think I'm going to do. So, and it would be really nice if we could get either the option to extract lead on those ore gatherers, or a lead-specific harvester. I'd be game for either. I'm going to be honest. Either one of those would tickle my pickle. We're going to go with copper. Thank God we've been getting a lot of that. You can go ahead and turn off. We don't need you to be extracting that anymore. I don't need you extracting either. In fact, I think we probably have most of what we need right here. I don't think there's a single thing we need to worry about for that. Oh, the slow trudge. So I was reviewing the patch notes for the upcoming patch for when it hits regular play, which will hopefully be when by the time we get into Season 2. If not, I may actually bite the bullet and try and play the test branch, just because that's super exciting and I would like to share that with you guys. I know there's a lot of people out there already doing test branch stuff, and I don't want to be totally behind the 8 ball. I don't know, maybe in a week or two, if it hasn't come out on public, maybe I'll bite the bullet and do the whole test branch thing. Aluminum ore, cobalt ore, copper ore. Alright, we're going to take this stuff. There. That'll be enough to let us move. We're going to throw all this in here. So we got loads of ore now. Even iron ore, which we've been constantly making and then falling short on. Ingot overflow, it goes. There we go. Alright, look at that. That's so beautiful. Alright, we are almost at 80 copper ingots. It's just beautiful. And even our steel is actually getting quite high in number. See if we can... No, not quite. But we do have over 60 ingots of steel. That's quite impressive, because we really haven't been focusing on making steel. It's just been whenever we get a good amount of lead, we'll make some, but haven't really... yeah, see, we got a ton of iron ingots. Jesus, so much aluminum. Nope, that's not good enough. Like a glove. See, and this is where you start to find that you're like, why am I collecting all this stuff? Like, look at this. I got 2 boxes of iron fragments just for that off chance where I need to do this, that, or the other thing. Time to go eat a cast, because I forgot about that. Plant fiber and sticks. The irony, guys, of not needing any casts for any reason for an entire season and then breaking my leg twice in 2 episodes right at the end is not lost on me. Be aware, it is not lost on me. I fully appreciate the irony of that situation. Why do I even keep casts? Why do I even make them? And then all of a sudden you break your leg 3 episodes in a row because the game hates you. Or, I'm not sure it's the game hating me, but you don't usually fall that far, so it's not usually an issue. Regardless, so that's the power. Now, this is the metal gate. It takes an absolutely ridiculous amount of resources to make. And you know what? I'm pretty sure that these... Oh, maybe they aren't. Oh, they're starting to go away, though. because there was only 3 of them there. That was a raid. So unless all of them are on this side. Fair enough. There we go. Alright. So we'll go ahead and throw down a couple more, I guess we're doing this. Alright, so clay, boom. We got some more Kevlar. As you can see, we have a whole bunch of cement. And we now have plastic going in to the sellable mix because we have an entire box of plastic and nothing to do with it. Actually, there it is. Plastic, cloth, and plant fiber in equal parts. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. That's 90. You know what? Where is cloth? That is sandstone. There's cloth. Bark chips and plant fiber. Oh. So we need 10 per. Let's get some bark chips going. Alright, so first we're going to make some cloth. That gives us 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. That should be more than enough. And then we'll take all of this. Let's see how much Kevlar we can make. This fox, though, just taunting me. Kevlar. 30 Kevlar. That is the second time we've done that, by the way. Turned cloth and plastic and into Kevlar. We have all, actually, 20 Kevlar, I'm sure, I am positive, is all we're going to need to hang on to. And if I knew it was anywhere near that crazy easy to get a hold of, I probably would have been selling it a while ago. We are going to go ahead, though, and do we have any fiber in here? No, we're going to throw 3 stacks of fiber. We're going to grab another stack of bark chips. We're going to make absolutely all the cloth we can. Boom. It's not a ton of cloth, but remember, we just pulled 100 cloth out of here and left ourselves 6. And now we got 36. It's not hard to get all that stuff back, so yeah, we're just going to leave that as it is. We're going to drop the repair kits for Mike. We're going to check the animals, and then we're going to go out smashing POIs. It'll be a fun time. Eggs. Excellent. It's our most excellent supply of eggs. I'm here all week. I'm here all the time, so there we go. There we go. Alright, so what was their feed level at? How'd you do it, Mike? Oh! Speaking of the watermelons, and I was going over the patch notes again. Guys, the developer did it. He has blessed us with the power of melon crates. Oh yes, you remember a couple of episodes ago I was saying how much we needed a melon crate that was like watermelon crates? Guys, he did it. He gave us a melon crate. It holds 20 melons. I was also going to do that. I'm sorry, guys. I dropped the ball on this one. But you know what? This is a part of the survival. Every so often, you got to clear the rot out of your kitchen. But while we're on the topic of the kitchen, you know what? This fox is pissing me off. Where is he? Some bitch. Open! Oh my god. Bleed! Stupid bloody fox. You guys see that? He was attacking my spikes. Not sure I like the implications of that. Well, that has sucked right up to the glass. Alright. Don't get me wrong. I love all the furry critters in most games. However, the sound that foxes make is annoying. It grates on my ears. Oh, so much work, guys. Again, this is part of the survival experience, though. You would have to, even in reality, you would have to clear the rot away, because if you don't clear the rot away, you're just going to wind up spreading the rot to other areas that aren't rotten in reality, right? Of course, this does assume that you also have stupid amounts of potatoes in a box, right? The fact that you could turn 3 of them directly into biofuel is kind of nice, because it gives you something immediate to do with it. But it is annoying to have to pull, several hundred rot out of these boxes, and it's okay. We'll get it though. But I'm sure you've noticed that now I'm getting sluggish. That's because I'm well over 200 biofuel at this point, just from clearing these boxes out. And keep in mind, I haven't even touched the ones that are actually labeled bio, right? Those two, which are also, I believe, relatively full of biomatter. At least Mike's eating his breakfast. God knows we aren't. Nothing in the water. Cans are fine. Look at that. We're so chockered. There we go. Last of the biofuel. So for all that work, all that mucking around, we got almost 250 biofuel. That is a ridiculous amount of biofuel. We will never need that much. In fact, we don't need it now. We'll go ahead and throw what we can in the box, but we only need like 200 total. So we'll throw this there, and we wound up with 226 biofuel to sell. Ludicrous, ludicrous, but very profitable for 10 coins per stack. Actually, not bad. Of course, that does require that you have that many to spare. We have 200 biofuel and 200 oil almost here at the base, so it's not like we're hurting for it. We're going to throw that in there. We're going to throw these. So we have 5 mechanical parts and electrical parts. We need to make some water. This is probably why Mike was, to be fair, wandering around, just wondering what he could do to be helpful, because we pulled all the biomatter out of here. He has lots of room to work with. And we are going to pull the cement out of the mixers. We're going to throw it in the truck, and then we're going to head out towards... There we go. Oh, we're going to throw that in there just for a second, because it occurs to me. We're fat, guys. We're fat. We're so fat. There we go. And we got all the sand out of our britches. All right. There we go. Mixers are all sorted, and we're fat again. So soon. God, our weight fluctuates. We need to work on that. Rule 1 cardio, bro. You'd be pretty weighed down too with that much cement, though, to be fair. How are we not getting called Superman? Oh, almost 2 boxes of cement. That is beautiful. And that is pretty much what you'll get in about an hour with those 2 mixers. Or in a couple hours with those mixers. I just want to show you the glory of these saw benches, though. So these ones work exactly like the other ones, except they're electric. Booyah! And they make 5 per session instead of just 4. They are definitively more efficient, but are, at the end of the day, they are probably unnecessary. I just love the fact that we have them. That's amazing. I love it. So, we're gonna... Mike, close the damn doors. What are you doing, bud? Alright, so we are going to go on the hunt. What are we on the hunt for? I'm so glad you asked that. So, we need 16 mechanical or the electrical parts for the batteries, and unless I am mistaken, 10 per for the fridge. So we need 36 total electrical parts in order to build what we need. And then I'd like to get an additional 10. I know that might be asking big things, but I'd like to try and get an additional 10. So all in all, we need, if we get 2 stacks of electrical parts total, we'll be fine. And we're going to start at the nearest POI to us, and then we're going to swing back around and do the loop of Old Faithful. Because those loops have been pretty good to us historically, and it's been a while since we hit them. So we're going to hit them again. And, right, so historically they've been pretty good to us, so we're going to hit them again. So what we'll do is we'll hit this one, we'll go down here, we'll hit this one, then we'll stop at the trader. We'll unload, we'll sell what we got, and then we'll do the rest of the loop for these other 3 POIs, and we'll see where we're standing after that. I'm not thinking we're going to have too many episodes here after this, because, honestly, we're pretty close to being done. What the hell is this guy? Play dead. Alright, nice. Actually, we're going to move up just a tick. Nothing on this side, so we'll go in. Smash and grab. Oh, there's an electrical part. That's 1. And remember, it is electrical parts that we are after. It's the only thing that we need right now. In fact, we got almost half a box of mechanical that we can't actually do anything with right now. We have no plans that use it. So, really, the only thing that we're waiting on is electrical parts. So, once we get those, we can start filling in some schematics that we have already placed down. And then it's just, we're pretty much done. We can decorate and call it a day. And I'm thinking that's going to be the last episode we do. We're going to wind up decorating the base, making it look all pretty, right? Because arguably that is part of the whole never having to leave your base thing. You want it to look nice, you want it to be comfortable. So, get that garbage out of here. Nope, stop it. That can go too. Stop. Oh, that gets sold. That stays. That can go. And you know what? I'm thinking we just start stockpiling this stuff to sell, to be honest. And I'm thinking that's probably the way the game usually ends at this point, without having a story mode or anything where there's a definite endpoint. You basically it comes down to, I guess, you decorated your base, you got everything built, there's nothing you need to do anymore. It's basically just occasionally you split some logs for firewood, etc., which I get is okay, I guess, but anyway, hit that on one of my drive-thrus. That's fair. I don't usually pass by them anyway. I would also like to take a look at another cave, possibly, potentially, that I don't use very often. I don't know if it's that I don't use it very often, but I definitely haven't used it in a while. But I remember it being a nice base. I want to go look at it. We might have to take out the ATV for that, because it's kind of off-road. And it's one of those bases that, if I'm not mistaken, I do remember being like, this isn't necessarily great, but it's close enough to just about everything. And I want to see if it still holds up, because that was a much earlier version of the game that I used that cave. So I want to go down, I want to have a look, I want to see if it still measures up, and if it does, maybe we can consider that for next season, provided that it still holds up after the patch changes stuff. Because sometimes the patch does change the terrain or layouts or whatever. That was a stupid idea. And where was that first guy I ran over? There he is. 2, 3. There was one more guy. Where was he? I don't know. Doesn't matter. If there's only one, even if we get taken by surprise, we'll be okay. Oh, there's an electrical. I love these little houses. They're so quick. Also, if it really becomes problematic, the city should have respawned by this point, so we can always go back there. We'll probably get every electrical part that we need out of the city. And then some. But we're here anyway. We got to go through it. So we might as well. Things we could talk about. Oh, right. So the new patch, according to the patch notes, there's also going to be 10 places where you could find Mike. That is ridiculous. But I'm looking forward to it. Right? Because if only having 2 places, if he's not, he's here. And there's no, you just got to go in, smash your way through, and go out again. It's not very challenging, if you know what I mean. So having like 10 different locations actually ups the game a bit in a way that feels right. Those go straight into the cell box. Might as well throw that in there too. Those should be in small stuff. Big stuff, we would keep that. So 10 different places that you could find Mike. I'm thinking that might actually be where we're seeing all these bigger beds from. Those might be related to the expanded locations Mike could be. And that'll make it interesting, I think. The 10 potential spawn locations means he's very rarely going to be in the same place twice. And I think that's exciting, because it means you got to work for it. It also means you could just get straight lucky and find him in the first place that you raid. That is legitimately possible with that kind of setup. Oh, that's a saw bench. That means he could be right here. You could find him here, I think. That might be a future Mike spawn point. You never know. It means that you want to actually thoroughly check everywhere, because you could walk right by him if you don't. Right? Could you imagine? Oh my god. Let's say the developer were to put in a hint. Here's Mike into the game. Right? And you're like, let's pull up our map. And he's 3 feet from you in the building you were just in. But because you didn't go upstairs, you didn't see him laying in the bed. Could you imagine? Oh my god. Play dead. Nope. Stop it. Oh. I win. Could you imagine the embarrassment level on that? Where's Mike? Well, he's about 10 feet away. Son of a... Like, could you imagine? I would die of embarrassment, I think. Get those out of there. Yeah, we'll keep that for now. More bacon. Alright. Take all... The level of embarrassment I think you would feel on that is just... But I bet you would never make that mistake again. Ever again would you make that mistake. You already searched there 5 times. I gotta do it again. I don't want to miss Mike again. Would never abandon a search quickly ever again. Right? Because you gotta figure, if the ATV trailer is 5 gold, right, to buy its location, and in the new trailer, by the way, or in the new beta version, currently they are now selling the ATV location. So they're selling the ATV location. And now it will be 250 for the ATV and 5 for the trailer. So if the ATV is going to be 250, what would Mike be? Like, that's got to be 1,000, right? Like, that's got to be an easy grand to find the helper. Like, that's got to be. If you had to pay that, right? So could you imagine going in, dropping $1,000 at the trader to find out that Mike is next door? Oh my God. You would never make that mistake again. Like, that is a make it once kind of mistake. And just watch us here at Shadow Gaming, we would make that mistake 5 times. Seriously, we would. Again, we are the other guys. We are not professionals. And we make mistakes, and sometimes we don't learn from them. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. So, I don't think I would make that mistake, though. I'm pretty good about finding Mike. I've never actually needed to buy a location for Mike. It's, if you're checking every POI, like, it shouldn't be all that much of an issue, right? Just go slow. Don't force your way through where you don't have to. It's that easy. Right? You just have to be thorough. But I could imagine being pretty upset. So there's 2 beds potentially in this town alone where Mike might appear. We need to get that liver and that bacon into the truck because I am an idiot. I did not... Oh, no, I am truly an idiot. We could juggle this. Oh, nope. Stop it. So many potatoes. Bacon way more valuable than raw meat. So we're going to lose that. It's going to go bad anyway, so doesn't matter. Cooked fish has 2 hours. We'll be good. And this should be the last house in the POI. Yeah, there's another electrical part. Ooh, big mid cook it. 2 electrical parts in this house alone. Alright. I only have 1 electrical stuff because it's not in big stuff. Durr. If we get jumped here, it's a catastrophic fail, guys. Boom, 377. And now for the real moneymaker. Ones for all the marbles, gentlemen. Oh my God, we're so fat. Boom, another 500. That was almost 1,000 coins that we brought in there. Just in random crap. And we should be proud. You know what, we're gonna get... I can't think of a single one that we need at the moment. We just got some of the most expensive holdouts that we were waiting for. So we now have all the benches. We have all the furniture. The only thing we don't have is any perks, but at this point I'm not even sure we need them. We'll get them eventually, but I'm honestly not sure that we need them. Alright, we press on. We go back to the loop. Yeah. Mike will have 10 locations to spawn. We're going to have melon crates. There's also, I'm not sure how it works, but there's apparently freezer tech. Actual freezer where you can straight up halt the progression of every degradation in the game by throwing it in a box in the freezer. This intrigues me, because it's like, can you put it in the community hall? Is it a free-form structure? I don't know, but it'll be interesting to find out. It'll be interesting to play with some of this stuff. I'm really looking forward to this update. I'm actually excited, because it changes the way a lot of the stuff works, right? I think. But it's not all sunshine and unicorns, boys and girls. Because along with good changes, we're going to have some bad changes. That's right, we can't get away without it. So the water wheel is going to be $2,500 to buy. That's going to be a little more expensive on the rarer resources. Although, if I was reading the patch notes correctly, it may not take any iron anymore. It might be steel and cobalt or something like that. Which is probably for the best. Oh, nope. I got up to turn an alarm off and came back and I was getting attacked. We're being attacked! Suppose that'll teach you, right? What did we wind up getting? It's tallow. Whatever. I don't care about that. I thought that was bacon we were picking up. Right in the top of his head. Look at that. Just call me William Tell. 2 electrical parts for our troubles. By the way, the time I'm recording this, it is for me, well, it is New Year's Day. So, Happy New Year's, guys. I'm surprised it took me that long to remember. But, yeah, Happy New Year. I hope it was good for you guys. I hope you were all safe, right? I hope nothing, untowards any of you or anyone you know. A stressful time, everybody coming and going, quickly, and accidents happen. So, I'm really hoping nothing like that happened to you guys or anyone that you know. I hope you guys had a happy holidays, We had pretty good holidays around here, so... Nothing too exciting for New Year's Eve. Me and a friend of ours basically watched a whole bunch of videos about commercials and advertisements that aged poorly. We doom scrolled that for 2 hours hilariously. Especially since half of them we actually remember. Because we're old enough to remember the 80s. if you know, you know. It was one time, and honestly, some days it was not. But you know, I always thought it was a great time to be alive. You know, it's kind of because you drink water in this. You drink water source, and you take damage. It's like, are you? I'm vividly remembering, swallowing, copious amounts of water over the course of my childhood. Now, as long as it wasn't all at once, nobody cared. I might just explain a few things, mind you. We're not going to think about that. Even though it explained a few things about our purpose, Gen Xers and Zennials, we don't talk about it. Okay, we hit that one. Hit that. Ain't no way I went door to door to door and just hit the whole thing. No way. I hit this one too? Nope. There's still to be had here. This is where I left off, apparently. Back in the 80s, we weren't afraid to, lick at something and get dirty. But I guess back in the 80s, there wasn't also, like, superbugs to, actually at that point. Trade-offs, I guess, right? And when you look at us now, maybe we licked a few too many doorknobs. It's a distinct possibility. Like, I don't know if that would damage a person permanently. I'm just saying, it probably doesn't help. Might actively hurt your chances. Just saying. Good thing we're in a return arc. So as I'm looking back at this playthrough, because you need to do that occasionally, right? And go, how could I optimize better? How could I play better next time? I think maybe actually buying a few of the perks earlier on would actually be a benefit. Because, being able to farther absolutely would have helped in quite a few situations. Being able to, use of X, this scenario probably would have been helpful. Going through food slower probably would have helped. Although, I'll be honest, if we'd have gone through food slower, I think we might have actually wound up with less health. So, yeah, that one might be toss-up. Because you can't eat when you're not, it won't let you. So if you can't eat when you're not hungry, it stands to reason that if you die, especially if you die a lot, like I swear 5 deaths at least, or sorry, 10 deaths or something at least during this playthrough, which is unfortunate, but it does make the point. We would have been like a baseline 90 if we hadn't been getting the points back, like eating cooked liver, all that sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, I think that if we had been using less food and nutrition and whatever, I think that would have actually prevented us from gaining as many points as we have. Like, if we've eaten deaths, we've also got points over the course of the playthrough, because we're at 97. That, of course, begs the question, would we still be at 97 if we had not... Oh, time to nerd bolt. Play dead. Hey. Play dead. And there's number 5, and we're just gonna leave him there, and hopefully they won't spawn. Here we go. Oh, something else that just occurred to me that the update promised us: new POIs, and that makes me giddy because it's not just a POI. They're not promising one; they're promising more than one, and that makes me happy. Makes me really happy. I think that's a spawn point for Mike, but I'm pretty sure we already knew about that one. So lots of exciting stuff coming in the. I'm pretty sure actually getting close to 1.0 as well here with this game. So, we're getting in the final as far as what you can from the game, what's going to be in, right? We're getting close to seeing that final product. And that makes me happy too, because it's been a long time coming. It's been 5 years that this has been an early access game, and some people might be like, well, that's a long time. And for those of you who are saying it's a long time, I invite you to take a look at 7 Days to Die and reflect for a second that 7 Days to Die has been in early access since 2011, I believe. 2011, that is a long time. That is almost 2 decades at this point. While they have, admittedly 1.0 build, which they rapidly slingshotted to 2.5, which I don't understand, and it's still not finished, by the way. They still have, they've said they want in the game before the is released. So technically, even though we're on 2.5 in 7 Days to Die, we actually haven't even hit 1.0, because 1.0 is the designation you give a finished product. Finished product. I'm not saying that the 7 Days to Die developers are lying to us. That is not what I'm saying. But I think they need to remember what the designations are for, because I think they might have forgotten in the time that they've been working on the game. Okay, I would chalk it up to an honest mistake and not deception, because they're trying damn hard. So I'm thinking I'm going to chalk it up to being overworked and underappreciated, and they just build. That's fine. Whatever. We do need to remember that 1.0 is a finished product designation. And if they haven't given us the product that they said they were going to give us, it's not done. And it is therefore still in early access, right? And I just find that amusing. I'm amused. Personally, I don't care all that much, right? For myself. I bought the game when it was like $10, 12, something like that. Because people are, my friends, they're like, yo, dude, you should try this, right? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Zombies aren't really my thing. Then I Last of Us, and I was actually hooked, and I start looking into like zombie type games, where I stumbled across this one, right? I was like, I like this one. This one is good. This one's solid. Also, I'm going to update you guys. I've been a good boy. I haven't spoiled myself on what like stuff is, what is. I've read the change or the log. That's what they've changed, right? But I haven't gone into the test branch. I've been avoiding YouTubers that I watch and trying to put that excitement. I am like talking about it so much right now, but trying to excitement so that we can explore all that together as a group. And I'm staying away from the spoilers, but there may come a point where I have to log into the beta branch. I don't want to. I don't know when the update is going to come to the public branch, and I do not wait like 2-3 months, whatever. Or God forbid we work on Pimpian time and it's like 8 months from now. But I don't want that long, and I don't want you to wait that long. So in a few weeks, if it hasn't come to the we will bite the bullet and enable the test branch, and we will play the early access stuff, which may or may not change after we display it, and that'll be fine. Oh, I'm really not about to get raided. Oh my God, that would suck. No, I don't want to get raided. You leave my booty alone. Oh, engaging target. Oh, he did not drop. Repeat, Tango not down. Hostile is returning fire. Tango down. That can be thrown. Why is this not in the little stuff? Oh, I see, because little stuff is small. Or, yes, little stuff is small. That's why it's in a box called small stuff. Small stuff is weak in English, I swear. We're good at it. It's only our native tongue. Huh? What am I low on? Oh, water, of course. Eat that, because it's garbage. Get that garbage out of here. There we go. Where'd the music go? I don't like. I'm getting out. I'm out. Ever since that one episode, we died like 3 times because we got raided in the middle of a looting episode. It's like every time it fades out, I'm like, nope. Don't. There was an upstairs to this house. Nah. Truck over here. Oh, look, we got some spikes. He had no idea what hit him, as it should be. All right. Away. We are at POI before we rip home, which is great because we are racing in clock with a couple of livers. I mean, it's not, but the less of it spoils, the less we have to. All right, I think we're yeah, cool. No idea how many electrical parts we found. Let's find out. We've got a big stuff. Final count, 15. Not bad. That gives us a total of 20. That means we're officially past the halfway mark. If we can get done like that, we'll be done next time. That's, I think, do it for us today. I will once drive back to the base, unload the truck and everything, and this time I'll actually unload the truck, like I didn't do last time. We'll see those parts where they need to be, foreseeing both a battery and another fridge in our immediate future. And we'll get next time. If you're enjoying the series, drop a like and subscribe. I'm thinking next video, it's probably going to be a longer one, and it's probably going to be the finale. We're gonna harvesting what's left for our electrical parts, which will be 16. So we'll say 20. We need 20, and I don't have any reason that we can't really finish this next episode. I'm gonna fill up. I'll make the traders. I'll sell what we've got, and I'll sell a couple boxes of concrete, and I'll reload the boxes. And then the first thing we'll do is we'll stop at the next episode, and then we'll go on another smash and grab, which hopefully won't be anywhere near as long as this. And we'll wrap it up with decorating the base and making it look all pretty, because it's already defended, right? It already stings like a bee, might as well look like a butterfly. So, yeah, we'll do that, get all that finished, and wrap all that up, because like I said, I'm pretty sure we've ticked all the boxes. Food is checked, water is checked, fences are checked. We have a way to make money reliably, and we've proven that with multiple runs to the trader that are like 1,000 or more. So, we have financial security, right? We rescued Mike. We've got all the tech. The only thing that we don't have is Master Craftsman, which is not technically a tech, and therefore, being a perk, it's not actually needed for the tech end of the run. Now, we never set out to get all the perks anyway. And I mean, the perks are optional, and different people are going to run different perk sets. Generally, I don't even run perks. I maybe should, because it occurs to me some of those might have been handy and might have saved our lives on a couple of occasions. But yeah, outside of that, like I don't literally any boxes left to tick off on our looking at a completed run. We just got to finish construction of what we set out to build originally, and that is another 2 fridges and another 2 batteries. 2 fridges. Those 2 fridges will make sure that we never have food that spoils again, and the batteries will make sure that the fridges never turn off. So I think I found this much complete. So next episode, that is what we're going to do. We're going to go out. We're going to look for those 20 electrical parts. We're going to sell can. I'm going to make 1 run to the trader off screen to accelerate that. I anticipate probably getting around $1,000 for it. There we go. Nice. Okay. Those can just in there. I'm also going to take, there's some cans. Okay. So that's going to do it for today, guys. If you're enjoying the series, or you enjoyed the series as a whole, drop a like and subscribe. I'm going to try and give it a couple weeks, and in a couple weeks we are going to be back at this again, because I'm super stat. I might slow it down to 1 video a week though for that next series for season 2, because there's other I want to put on the channel, and stay tuned to that, because thinking I might run a little retro appreciation. I don't know how well it'll work, but we're going to pay attention, because there's going to be a walkthrough for the original Final Fantasy. I got it cooking. I'm not done yet. I don't know when but I'm going to drop all the episodes all at once. And probably in half hour, 45-minute chunks, depending on it, sectional. So like you'll have like island, and from this to the next town, right? Cover the stuff in that area, and then go to the next town. That'll be the 3rd chapter, that sort of thing. It'll make sense when I'm more so. Keep on that. Again, this channel is not just about one type of game, so you're going to see several different types on here. Some of them are going to be retro. Some of them are going to be new. And all of them are going to be casual gaming where we make mistakes, we fuck up, and we probably don't learn from our mistakes. But you know what? It's nice to dream. So, until then, Vambies bite, and we'll see you in the next episode. Y'all have a good one.